Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we will talk about part 2 of our little recovery series. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, so the 3 pillars, then make sure to watch that one first before joining in on this one. Today we will talk about some other recovery hacks that you can implement into your daily life and add to your already existing routine. And we gathered some questions from our Instagram community, and we'll add them at the end of this video as a little Q&A. So let's get started with the video. Electrostimulation or whatever, but what we're going to talk about today is cold water therapy or cold water immersion. We're going to talk about meditation and breath work as one subject. We're also going to talk about sports massage and nature as a recovery method, or going out into nature and fresh air and how that impacts recovery. So these are the 4 things that we want to talk about today. If you have other questions about recovery and recovery strategies, then just drop those questions in the comment section below and we will be happy to answer them. So the first hack or recovery hack I want to talk about is cold water therapy, and that could be an ice bath, that could also be a cold shower post-workout, or anything similar. And it is pretty common among athletes, professional athletes or semi-professional athletes, to use cold water as a recovery method. And today I want to introduce you into the world of cold water therapy or cold water as a recovery strategy, and how you can utilize it to get the most of it, or to reap the benefits of it. First of all, I want to talk about that your post-workout recovery strategy or routine is highly impacting your performance and your fitness. So it is crucial for someone who really wants to perform better, who wants to have or develop more fitness, and has certain goals that he or she wants to, or that you want to achieve. You need to know, or you need to have a strategy or routine as your post-workout recovery. So you start your recovery right after your training or workout ends. So that's where you start your recovery. And that includes the 3 pillars, obviously, but sleep. You don't necessarily need to sleep directly after your training, but rest is really important. Your nutrition after your training is important, and even like a cool down period, so you don't want to just sit on your couch and do nothing. You actually want to think about a way to ease your body into that resting and recovery state. Okay, so cold water therapy, as I said, pretty common among athletes, but what is the use for us as non-professional athletes? So when we look at cold water and the effect it has, or the effects it has on our body, the most obvious, or the highest impact that we see is on our heart rate variability. So a heart rate variability increases after a cold shower or an ice bath. And higher heart rate variability is usually associated with better recovery. So that is a bonus. If we take a cold shower in the morning or after our training, our heart rate variability spikes a little bit, and usually during training it is low, and then afterwards it should increase again, so that when your heart rate variability is back to its normal or higher state, then you know that your body is adapting and recovering. Cold water therapy or cold shower usually also is associated with an increased blood flow, which is especially important for female athletes, because usually with males or with men, the blood goes directly back into the center, and for females it usually flows away from the center. It flows away from the center, and with the cold water, you bring it back to the center and have a better blood flow, and therefore better nutrient availability in your bloodstream. Okay, so that is another benefit. What the studies that I've looked at, a lot of them tell you that it is good to use cold shower therapy or use a cold shower or an ice bath, but there is also not sufficient data out there to really tell you how long, so the duration and the temperature. It's not really figured out yet what the optimal level or the optimal temperature is. But nonetheless, it is recommended for like 5 to 15 minutes at like 15 degrees Celsius, or even colder. So that is something that you can add directly after your training to reap the benefits of it. And another finding, or another thing that I found out while researching, was that it shows a huge impact or a huge improvement in like endurance or cardiovascular health, not so much on strength. So you won't see a lot of increase in strength just from hopping under a cold shower, but you will see an increase in recovery.
So the next big hack we want to talk about, or I want to talk about now, is about breathing and meditation. Stress plays a big role when it comes to recover better and faster. So we have to take in mind, after a big hard workout, our body is under high loads of stress. So we have to cool and relax our body immediately to start the best recovery process possible, and the fastest recovery process possible, to be able to work out sooner again. So a good way to calm down after a training is with breathing techniques, with breath work. But we have also different kinds of breath work, so keep that in mind. We have breath work which gets us into that parasympathetic state and activates our parasympathetic nervous system, and we have breathing techniques for our sympathetic nervous system, okay? So keep that in mind. Use parasympathetic methods to really calm down and relax your body. It lowers your heart rate, and it really drives you and gets you into that recovery process and recovery state faster. A good way to start that is with some yogi breath works, or some Wim Hof, for example, with a Wim Hof method is a very good example to activate that parasympathetic state, which allows you to recover faster. Sympathetic breathing techniques, for example, another different yoga technique from Kundalini Yoga, it's called a breath of fire. It's where you activate a lot of energy and activates a lot of restored energy, and activates and makes us ready, right, with fast and heavy, deep breathing techniques. So it really activates our heart rate, brings our heart rate up, rather than calming down and relaxing. So those are the two different breathing techniques. But they have a huge impact, as I already said, on our brainwave, on our nervous system, on our parasympathetic nervous system. So it's a great way to utilize the breath work right after the training. So get in a silent room, sit there for 5 minutes, calm down and breathe. You can always combine that with meditation, because meditation is also in that parasympathetic system. So it activates both through breath work only, but also through meditation. So you can combine breath work and meditation after your training for, it can take 5 minutes. Doesn't have to be 20-30 minutes of meditation. Just do 5 minutes, and a good way to do even more for it, to even enhance your sleep. Do meditation or breath techniques right before your sleep. That's scientifically also proven already that this enhances our sleep, and you will get more deep sleep time, which increases your and fastens up your recovery. So these are the main things I want to give you on the way when it comes to breath work and meditation. Think about the parasympathetic state, which drives meditation and relaxing, cool down and breath work, deep, long breaths, and the sympathetic breath work with fast and deep breaths, which activates our heart rate, brings our heart rate up, and makes us ready for something and not calming us down. Okay, so I hope that was clear for you, and let's get right into the next recovery hack.
So another hack is sports massage or massage therapy. And first things first, there is not a lot of scientific data out there that says, okay, sports massage is really triggering or enhancing your recovery. What it does and what is proven is that it usually decreases significantly delayed onset muscle soreness, so DOMS, and perceived fatigue. So these two are usually really upfront when it comes to the benefits or the benefits of sports massage or massage therapy. And there was there was an analysis that was looking into sports massage and massage, and what the findings were that it didn't have an impact on sprinting performance, jumping performance, endurance, strength or power, but it did have a significant impact. It did have a significant impact on flexibility and delayed onset muscle soreness. Obviously, these two play together, and there are benefits from massage. It's just not that it is like the thing that you really need to do in order to enhance your recovery or to hack your recovery, however you want to call it. It is a nice add-on, but it is nothing that you really need to do in order to recover better. As I said before, massage therapy or sports massage or whatever is something that people feel like really helps them. So usually, even if it doesn't really enhance the recovery process, it is something that athletes or people perceive as something that helps them. So there is nothing wrong with going to a sports massage and just doing it like once a month or however often you want, but it's nothing that you need to do in order to reap all the benefits or get a better recovery. We're going to talk about 4 different recovery strategies or recovery hacks that you can implement. There are loads more out there, like compression garments.
So the next and last hack we want to talk about now is being in nature, seeing green light, or just breathing fresh air, right? So again, stress plays a big role in the recovery process, and usually we are so overexposed, especially when we live in the city, and being in our job, 9-to-5 job, desk job, in worst case with a lot of time in front of electronics or surrounded by electronics, we are usually overexposed with positive electrons. And that's really bad for us humans, right? And by going and walking through nature, we're this technique is called earthing. When we walk through nature, we balance our energy system out by connecting with the ground and with the nature, which gives us negative electrons. And that negative electrons usually balance us the energy system out. So without being in nature and seeing the green light or the fresh air, we first sleep. Our sleep is not as good as it should be or as it can be when we would go into the nature. And of course, our stress level is a lot higher. You probably won't realize it if you're not very, or if you don't have a very good body awareness, but our stress level is a lot higher compared to if your day, or if you implemented a walk through the nature or time in the nature during your day. So the stress level is a lot lower. But this technique, going into the nature and just seeing the green light, also reduces inflammation in your body, chronic pain, and enhances, as I already said, your sleep. So that's really important. But what's also very good technique, it's kind of flows in with this earthing technique. It's called forest bathing, right? If you're in the forest, it has the same effects obviously on our body. If we see the green light, it calms our system down, and our brain waves really calms our brainwaves down, our stress level comes down, the inflammation in our body gets reduced. And if you combine that, if you combine walking in the nature, seeing the green light with breathwork technique, with the cold showers and with the 3 pillars, you're really making a good job to recover as good as you can, right? Good. As good as you can, right? So if you now say, man, I live in a city, I don't have a lot of nature, or I don't even have a park where I can go, then use your apartment wisely. Put a lot of trees and plants in there, seeing the green light and shutting off the electronics, like let's say all the electronics, Wi-Fi, your computer, 2 hours before you sleep, and seeing the green light. Open all your windows and breathing fresh air and meditate before you sleep. That's already helping you so much. So don't take that as an excuse and say, I don't have nature nearby, the park is half an hour away, so I cannot use these techniques. No, be smart. Take your apartment and just follow the rules. Shut off the electronics, the Wi-Fi. Use this breathwork technique, meditation techniques. Put a lot of greens and trees and plants in your room, and you will bring your recovery on a different level.